Good day, everyone. So, for today's topic, Chapter 9, we will be talking about educational philosophies related to society. So, my name is Joanna K.E. Macasa, and with my partner, Carol Mendoza. For our objectives, examine the historical development of educational philosophies and their influence on societal values, norms, and structures. Analyze the ways in which different educational philosophies address societal challenges and contribute to social change and progress. And lastly, evaluate the implications of various educational philosophies for fostering social justice, equity, and inclusivity within diverse societal contexts. For our introduction in this chapter, we delve into the dynamic relationship between educational philosophies and societal frameworks, exploring the profound impact of diverse philosophical perspectives on shaping educational practices and fostering societal norms. Educational institutions are dedicated to achieving excellence and meeting established standards. Leadership in this institution involves managing and developing people, while good leadership emphasizes the importance of building appropriate and collegial relationships. By focusing on these aspects, educational institutions can create a positive and conducive learning environment that promotes the success and well-being of all stakeholders.
Good day, everyone. My topic for today is about behaviorism, linguistic philosophy, and constructivism. First up, I have here behaviorism. So, behaviorism, founded by John B. Watson and B.F. Skinner. Behaviorism is a school of thought that borders on the development of the behavior of the student through a very conductive environment. Why are behaviorists so obsessed on this? It is because they have the conviction that the learners are the product of the environment, and every learner must be exposed to an environment that is structured and organized. So let's talk about a teacher who lives this philosophy. A teacher who lives this philosophy is a type of teacher who is meticulous. Why? Because he or she pays attention to both the major and minor details in class, from the formation of a student line to the dismissal. So now let's move on in linguistic philosophy. So what is linguistic philosophy in the philosophy of education? The belief that the language is at the root of all learning. In other words, according to linguistic philosophy, we learn best by using language. We know to think by thinking in terms, and we learn to understand the world around us by interpreting what we see and hear through the lens of language. This theory of learning has important implication for how educators should teach students. It means that teachers should give students opportunities to use language as a tool for learning and provide lots of feedback so students can understand how they are using language to think, learn, and communicate. Now, let's proceed for my last topic, constructivism. Constructivism was founded by John Piaget, where he says that individuals actively construct knowledge through experience and interaction. So a constructivist teacher would not settle for sharing of knowledge, ideas, and concept alone, but it's rather aware that all the learning experiences he or she provides to the learning must be meaningful in order to be carried over in the outside world. Thus, every teacher settling for this philosophy must allow his or her student to construct meaning to what they experience inside and outside the classroom. Collaborative learning. When your students are working with others on project or tasks, by engaging themselves to others and sharing knowledge, they can be able to construct a deeper understanding of a various concepts and ideas.
Who is John Dewey? a prominent American philosopher, psychologist, and education reformer known for his pragmatic approach to education and his emphasis on experimental learning. When we say progressivism, education is an educational approach that emphasizes learning through real world experiences and problem solving. It encourages active participation and engagement in the learning process. Progressive educators believe that education and students learn best when they are actively involved in hands on activities, critical thinking, and collaboration. This approach promotes creativity, independence, and the development of practical skills that are applicable in real life situations. For example, instead of simply reading about how plants grow, student in progressive classroom might plant seeds, observe the growth over time, and conduct experiments to understand the factors that affect plant growth, such as light, water, and soil nutrients. The rules of influence and authority. G. Oswald Chambers was a evangelist and teacher best known for his influential devotional book, My Utmost for His Highest. Nothing more, nothing less. Leadership goes beyond holding a position of authority. It is about inspiring and influencing others to achieve common goals. Effective leaders have the ability to motivate and guide individuals or groups towards a shared vision. They inspire, trust, provide guidance, and empower others to reach their full potential. Leadership involves not only directing and managing but also serving and supporting those under their influence. For example, imagine a classroom where the teacher steps out briefly, leaving behind two students. One student, not officially appointed as leader, takes charge by encouraging others to stay focused and complete the assigned task. Through their encouragement and example, they influence their peers to work diligently until the teacher returns. This demonstrates how leadership, as defined by Chambers, relies on influence rather than formal authority. Integrity and influence. When we say influence, in leadership, influence is the essence of effective leadership. It is the capacity to accept other actions, decisions, or opinions. Influential leadership inspires, persuade, and motivate others to willingly contribute to shared goals. On the other hand, integrity in leadership refers to adhering to moral and ethical principles. Leadership with integrity acts with honesty, transparency, and consistency, building trust and credibility among their team members and stakeholders. For example, in a classroom discussion about plagiarism, a teacher demonstrates integrity by upholding academic honesty policies and influences students by emphasizing the value of original work. The teacher's integrity serves as a model for students, influencing them to adopt ethical practices in their academic pursuits.
In summary, educational philosophies deeply influence how we teach and learn, shaping both academic achievement and societal values. By integrating diverse perspectives like behaviorism, linguistic philosophy, and constructivism, educator can foster holistic development. Through progressive methods and emphasize on influence over authority will cultivate integrity and ethical leadership. This fusion of philosophies and societal values form that bedrock of education, nurturing individuals who excel academically and contribute positively to society.
Thank you for listening, and that would be all. Thank you. This is Group 9.